This is the newest marathon coach on the market. If someone wants the newest coach, this is it?
Absolutely. Coach 1421, it's the latest from Marathon, and it is still available. And so this is one of those coaches that I think someone's going to grab up right away.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the X3 with the stainless sides, just
Yes.
that classic Prevost look. And this is a double slide coach?
It is. Marathon's double slide X3s are very popular, and I'm glad that Marathon still has that commitment to that platform of still building not only on the H3 but the X3.
And Marathon builds more Prevost motorhomes than anybody in the industry.
Yes.
How many Prevost buses is Marathon currently converting every year?
Annually, it's around 20 a year, and of course that fluctuates depending on our production schedule.
It's a 2026 X3 double slide, Coach 1421, and what's the MSRP on this coach?
Right at about 3.3 million on Coach 1421. And this is one of those coaches, and I'm excited to show you inside. The storage in this coach and this floor plan is phenomenal. And I know you and I have went in and seen that storage. It's absolutely beautiful.
Well, there's some really cool stuff on the interior that I've only seen done by Marathon Coach. And we've been filming several videos here over the last couple days, really learning more about the Marathon Coach team, the Marathon Coach product. It's an incredibly impressive operation, and one of the things, I want to talk more about this X3, but I think we need to shine a little bit of light on the Marathon team for a moment, because we were going through your factory and meeting a lot of the different employees, and I was meeting people like, hey, how long have you been here for? It's like, oh, 25 years. 35 years.
Yes.
And we were in one of the areas where we saw, how long everybody's been working, and I counted 68 people that have been here over 10 years, which is
phenomenal.
Unheard of in the RV industry. What's so special about Marathon Coach and the morale here where you're able to retain almost 30% of the employee workforce for over 10 years?
One of the things that you're going to see is the camaraderie of this team. A lot of people from a lot of different departments who specialize in so many different things coming together. And that's really a nice thing about having all of the resources under this one roof, is everybody coming together, building amazing coaches like this. People love having that passion for the product and being here for so many years, and the history that they have with the company. It's just really a cool thing to see.
Yeah, really incredible. And it was about 9 years ago when I started watching you on YouTube. Before I ever started making these videos, you were the guy. I mean, I looked up to you long before. So really an honor to be here and seeing everything firsthand. And there's a lot that we see in the videos, but when you come here to the mothership in Oregon and you see the size and scale of this operation, this is a massive facility, just absolutely world class. But you also have service facilities in Texas and in Florida as well?
That's correct. Here at the World Headquarters, we have a great service department, but not only there, Florida and Texas, in the Dallas area, we have great sales and service coming out of those two facilities also. So having the 3 service centers is really a benefit to our clientele. The people are investing a lot of money in our product to be able to get out there on the road and enjoy it. And if they've got Florida, Dallas, and Oregon to help support their investment in owning a Marathon coach, it's just that much more enjoyable for them as owners.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big reasons Marathon coaches are so sought after. I mean, you guys are producing more Prevost motorhomes than anybody else in the industry.
That's right. Historically, we've produced more Prevost coaches than anyone in the industry. So one of the things that I'm really proud of is the way that Marathon takes the time to engineer. Our fit and finish is second to none. So really, at the end of the day, building on both the X and the H, we're bringing a lot to the table with it.
Absolutely, and it's so cool to see all of the different floor plans, configuration, the customization that you do here. In the factory tour, we got to see a lot of different variations of outdoor kitchens in the bays and just all kinds of cool features that your owners are thinking of. And you guys got some A-list celebrity owners. You guys never name drop around here.
No.
But if folks are watching the internet enough, you're gonna see some celebrities riding around in Marathon coaches. There's no question.
There's no question. There's so many of them out on the road, and from your channel to our channel, there's so many coaches out there for people to take a look at. This coach right here, Coach 1421, this is an example of the power of Marathon and all of the resources in this building. A great floor plan, engineered well, and a beautiful paint job. This is one of those coaches.
Yes, sir. And right now we've got the signature Marathon coach.
For sure.
Lawn chairs out. Now, in this bay, it looks like there's a spot to house the lawn chairs here.
That's right. In both Bay 1 and Bay 2, here on the curbside or the patio side, you've got the ability to store 2 chairs here, 2 chairs there, and of course, the Marathon welcome mat also goes into that spot.
And they just slide in here very conveniently, all lined with carpet, so they're safe, they're not rattling around, they're not gonna get, banged up while they're going down the road.
And I'm glad you pointed that out, Andrew, because storing these chairs, you don't want to take up actual usable storage. Having the Marathon Zip-D chairs stored up here allows for this area down here to be for additional storage.
Probably the most compact lawn chairs on the market. If you go to like Costco and try to buy lawn chairs, they can take up, a good portion of a bay in a motorhome.
These are the most robust chairs. It's just surprising to me. When I first started at Marathon, I thought, what's going on with these chairs? You're absolutely right. They take about that much space, and they are the strongest chair I've ever sat in. It's nuts.
Super high quality, super comfortable,
Yes.
and they last decades.
Decades.
Just like these Marathon coaches, we see coaches in your service department 10, 20, 30 plus years
Yes.
old, and a lot of those coaches, you pull out those lawn chairs and they're like right out of the wrapper.
The funniest thing is they still look amazing after, you pull out a 25-year-old Marathon Zip-D chair. The fabric looks great, the embroidery looks great, the wood handles. It's just a well-made chair. I'm glad that Marathon still utilizes those chairs in every single coach.
And that's par for the course with Marathon Coach, because the entire coach, even if we look at a 25-year-old Marathon coach, they're high quality materials. They
Yes.
last well, timeless design. So of course those Zip-D, lawn chairs go right along with that high quality.
And one of the things I want to point out is we select the chair that goes with each coach to match the awning set. So the awnings that are on this coach actually match the fabric on those chairs. So the 4 Zip-D chairs with the Marathon embroidery matches those awnings that are going to be above you in the patio.
Yeah, does this coach have the large awnings?
It sure does. It's got 8-foot awnings on the patio side with the lighting package. So it really makes your patio awesome.
Can we pop those out?
Let's do that. So I'll show you right here. In Bay 3, we've got it's really something you could do not just from here, but also you can have the Crestron system loaded onto your phone. So if you don't have your phone with you, you grab the Crestron. There's one in the bedroom, one in the salon, and of course one out here, Bay 3. So if I'm here on the Marathon Crestron tablet, I can just select here. I can go over until I find awnings, hit awnings. I can go all awnings. As you can see, they're all highlighted, and then I can hit extend.
Oh.
And they all will come out, and at the same time,
Can we turn the lights on?
I can put the lights on.
Nice, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, and those are very bright LED lights up there.
Absolutely.
So as this comes out, it's gonna really illuminate the patio, and then we've got the underglow lighting. They remind me of the water back home in Florida, that kind of aqua blue.
Oh, very good point.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I wear this shirt today. But no, one of the things that also you want to talk about from a reimagining or an upgrading concept is these lights on awnings. If you don't have the awning package that has lights, this is something that you can upgrade to if you have a coach that previously did not have the lights.
Talking about these awnings, we heard an incredible story earlier today. We got to interview several of the Marathon team members
Right.
about when they brought the roof awning. So Marathon Coach was the first company to bring roof awnings to the motorhome market. In the past, they had been, I should be saving this story because I don't want to butcher this story.
Don't
It was
butcher
an
it.
incredible story, but to my understanding, in the past, when they went from the XL to the XL2, these windows didn't have those metal beams
Yes.
where they could mount those awning arms. And if you look at those old 90s Prevost with the awnings mounted on the side of the coach, it wasn't nearly as aesthetic. And when Marathon first did these roof awnings, I think there was a few of the coaches, I think there was 3 coaches where they tried to do it the old way and put the side mount awning.
Didn't
and
work.
They took them all off and spent the money to redo it, have the caps done, the big roof awnings. And then the other huge advantage of when that happened was it hid the roof AC units
That's
as well.
exactly right.
Which has really changed the motorhome industry. To have a high roof rail coach with those big awnings that hide the AC units, that's kind of like if you want to play with the big boys, that's kind of necessary.
It really is. In my opinion, having not just the ability to hide those roof areas, you can hide the Starlink that's up there, but it's really cool to be able to see the coach with the full package, the front, the rear, everything comes together. It gives it a dynamic look.
Marathon's pioneered a lot of stuff in the industry, and those videos are going to be coming out in the near future. Just some incredible stories. There was one video where we interviewed employees that had started working in 1983. Alan, I believe Jay started in 1988.
Correct.
And Steve, your COO, started, I believe, in 93 or 94. So just an incredible amount of wisdom and stories in these buildings. It's been such an honor to hear these stories. So stay tuned for that video coming soon. And once that's edited, we'll leave that in the description below. But what else is going on here with this coach?
This is one of those coaches that, like I mentioned earlier, the stainless sides of the X3 is such a dynamic look. To me, it's the 55 Chevy Bel Air in the garage. It has that classic bus look. When people think traditionally of a bus, they think of the stainless sides of the X3 on the side of a Marathon. And I love the fact that we are still doing it. As someone who was a detailer, I mean, this is something that you have to maintain. But when it is maintained and it is dynamic as the stainless sides are, it's just beautiful.
And honestly, if you're very careful about your wash processes, it's not as hard to maintain as people think, as long as you're using deionized water, the super soft wash mitts, and doing things the right way. It's not that crazy. It really is a timeless material that really will hold up for decades. This stainless will probably outlast all of us.
Okay, and you bring up a very good point. The Prevost chassis is designed to be on the road 24/7. And the X3 is exactly that. It's designed to go for decades, and so the stainless really stands up.
Well, and I grew up knowing all the rock stars were riding around in these buses with the stainless sides, so I think a lot of folks like myself always have had that dream of running around in like a rock star bus.
Absolutely.
In the X, we've got two large storage bays up front here. Now, there's no slide trays, there's no outdoor grills or anything, but is that something that could be added if someone buys this coach and they want to add that in your service department?
Absolutely. Not only is it something can we do, but it's something we will do, because the customers always have their own twist on what they want in the bays, whether it be from storage or entertainment. And so we literally wait until this coach sells, and what we're going to do is we're going to outfit it with exactly what the customer dictates they want. It could be just a simple slide out tray. It could be nothing. Sometimes we don't put anything in here and the customer wants it that way. It could be a situation where we put a slide out tray with both storage and barbecue, refrigerator, wine cooler, you name it, we've done it. So we really wait until the customer dictates what their needs and desires are.
Yes, sir. And then in Bay 2, it looks like there's kind of essentials that come with the coach here.
A lot of things come with the coach, and a lot of them don't even need to stay with the coach. Some of it is just for future reference or for their ownership needs. There's everything in there from extra set of belts, a paint kit for touch-up. I don't want you to touch up your coach, but anyway, there's also a lot of paperwork that comes with the coach to deal with everything from the appliances to the flooring. Those are things that we provide to the owner, and these boxes and a few other things are in there, and usually they end up in a storage facility because you don't need them on board, but they are provided when the coach is sold.
And Marathon Coach does so many little clever things. Like here, I see an outlet on the bay, and then there's a little port below that. So if someone wanted to plug in a golf cart or some e-bikes and they don't have convenient outlets, they can plug it in right here, run that extension cord below the floorboard, and then have the bay closed up, nice clean look, but still have access to that.
You're absolutely right. A lot of times we're going to have an appliance down here in Bay 2, and we're going to need to have it plugged in, and then you run the cord through the cord minder right there out through the bottom of the coach. You can still shut Bay 2's door and use that appliance as it's plugged in right there.
Yeah, there's so much thought that goes into these Marathon coaches. We're gonna see a lot of cool stuff in this coach, especially when we go into the interior. And Marathon builds more Prevost than anybody else in the industry, so you have a lot of reps. And I know your customers are always driving ideas to try to improve these coaches. So many cool little creature comforts as we go through it.
Yeah, and when you talk about creature comforts, you talk about wanting an extremely large TV with a great sound in Bay 3 here, and you can literally control the angle of that TV just with the push of a button, and it's on a really robust arm installed right here in Bay 3.
Yes, sir. And then when we swing that back out there, I just want to compliment, at how high-end the cabinetry in the bays are
Totally.
here.
You're gonna see the same fit and finish inside the coach. We do it inside and outside. Down here behind the TV, this is an area that not a lot of people see and or use on a regular basis, but it still has the fit and finish of a Marathon quality build. So when you talk about fit and finish, you want even the plumbing bays to look beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. So there you go. You've got the filtration system, you've got some manifolds, but this is the backside of water. This is also a heated bay. We've got the ability to have it all behind these beautiful doors, which a lot of people think that's a wine cooler back there, but it's not.
I see 2 water pumps as well. So if you have an issue with one of your water pumps, you've got that auxiliary there.
Yes.
And then what's your freshwater tank capacity in this coach?
Fresh water on an X3 Marathon is 153 gallons, and then 83 on the gray
And then the black tank capacity?
is 58 gallons.
It's a huge holding tank capacities if you wanted to do some dry camping in this coach.
Absolutely.
With these huge awnings out, I'm noticing a huge advantage of the double slide coach. Not having these slide rooms,
Yes.
we have really easy access to all of the bays. We have extra space underneath the patio. So if someone wanted to park a car or motorcycles underneath these, you have a tremendous amount of under awning space on your patio.
You know, Andrew,
side.
you bring up a very good point, because you're able to park either a vehicle in here or a golf cart, motorcycles, e-bikes underneath the 8-foot awnings. Because you don't have slide out rooms, you have the ability to park vehicles of some sort underneath here and have them covered and still not heavily affect your patio, which is usually in the forward area.
Yeah, a lot of advantages to a double slide X Prevost. Now, what's the fuel tank capacity in this coach?
Diesel fuel 210.
And you could fill that up on both sides of the coach?
Yes.
Yeah, and 210 gallons, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're filling up at a truck stop and being able to put 2 pumps at the same time,
Yeah.
it may save you 15 minutes of time. And at this level, when you're able to write a check for one of these coaches, your time is probably really valuable. So if you could save 15 minutes at a fuel stop, hey, every minute adds up.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
So get you to the RV resort to get to happy hour in time.
Less stops means more enjoyment when you get there.
Exactly. Now, as we come around to the rear of the coach, what's the power plant in this coach?
The power plant is a Volvo D13, and we can actually show that. If I open this guy right here, you can lift this up very easily, make sure that it's locked for safety into spot, and look at that right there.
Easy access to all of your belts if you ever
Yes.
need to change a belt. Now, I remember the older XL2s had the belt tensioner. Does this have the belt
It
tensioner on it?
does. It does. Yeah, and that's one of the things that really allows for serviceability.
You're talking about Volvo and Prevost.
Yeah.
Those are 2 companies that really put safety as their top priority. I remember, growing up as a kid, I was always told Volvos are the safest cars.
It's what my wife drives right now.
That's really a testament.
Yes.
Having your family be safe while they're, in transportation is huge. So.
Yes, and I think that's a really big part of the Prevost chassis is the safety. And so Volvo and Prevost together, working together to provide the safest chassis on the road.
And I know they're always improving their safety features.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know if this coach has lane departure, collision mitigation, or what type of safety equipment is on this coach?
It does, and if you haven't driven a Prevost, and this is one of the things that you and I really haven't touched on, taking a test drive in a Prevost, they say it'll ruin you because that's all you're gonna want. And I truly believe that. The safety features of the lane mitigation system, the aware system, it is phenomenal. One of my favorite features is this Allison transmission that is on these coaches. It is phenomenal. The transmission retarder that is in these coaches is amazing.
Yeah, stop in this coach is super important, and the structure, we talk about the technology, but really it all starts with that stainless steel structure.
Oh, no doubt. One of the things that you pointed out earlier is the Magnum 2x4s that we have in here for the inverters, and this is where it's stored behind here. We did a tour earlier of an H, so to be able to see it in the X, I wanted to show you everything is accessible. You pull off right here and you're able to see the 2 inverters right there.
And we're going to talk more about these inverters when we go inside, but those are twin 4,000 watt inverters?
Yes, they are.
And then I see inverter disconnect switches right there, super simple.
Yes, really good for the serviceability of the inverter system. But I do want to show you the plumbing bay, because that's one of the places where Marathon really shines, and that is right here.
Yeah, and in the X, it's going to have much wider bay doors than the H, where the H is going to have a little taller bays, but with the extra width in this bay, you've got this massive plumbing bay, and it is fully finished out like we would see the cabinets in the interior of the motorhome.
Absolutely correct. It's very important for it not just to be aesthetically pleasing, but to be functional. And I think Marathon nails it every time when it comes to how we finish off a bay. Andrew, open those doors right there. Everything is finished and everything needs to be accessible. And so one of the things that I like to do with that drop door, and that's something that we can touch on, is you can see where the drop door actually comes up or down.
Do you mind if I put the sewer hose out?
Let's put it out.
So one of the coolest things about a Marathon, the only one in the industry doing this, I think you guys have a patent on this, right?
We do. We have a patent on this system. Go ahead and turn that on.
Yep, and then hose out. Nobody likes playing with the stinky slinky or having to put it in a trash bag or put it in a tube. You know, it's much easier just to press a button right here. You hold it for 4 or 5 seconds.
And it's going to shoot right out across the parking lot. Just like that.
There it is.
And this is called the Freedom Plus system, and actually Marathon is the exclusive one that has the patent on this system, and it literally allows you not to reach up and pull it out. You can shoot it across, plug it in when you need to, and when you're done, you cap it off and go ahead and bring that guy right back in.
So much easier than I used to jack with trash bags in my Class A back in the day, and much easier.
Yeah, so. The Freedom Plus system is exclusive on all Marathons H and X.
Yes, sir, and then I'm going to just turn this system off because we're not using it.
Absolutely.
Kind of a safety switch so people aren't accidentally shooting the sewer cord out there. Or,
absolutely, yeah.
And then you've got a Crestron panel out here. We can control the awnings out here. TechLink, what all can we do from this?
From the TechLink system out here on this small interface, you can see what your capacities are at right there, but also you can move your awnings out. And a lot of people like to view their awnings while they're moving them in and out. And so instead of having to do it from an iPad, which is on the other side of the coach, we allow for one to be on this side so you can move the awnings in and out.
Yeah, and something else I learned from you earlier, we just talked about the ease of the sewer hose, but you know, putting your 50 amp short cord in and out, Marathon is thinking of just how to make life as easy as possible. So you've got this remote in and out, and you can essentially walk with your cord while you're pulling it out or while you're bringing it in, so you're not dragging it through the dirt, where a lot of coaches, if they do have a power short cord reel, you have to stand in the bay and then watch your 50 amp cord drag across, you know, the ground.
Just simply by putting a remote in your hand, you're able to stand and do it yourself. And also keeping debris off of that power cord is really important, so you can actually isolate some of that debris off of that power cord as you're rolling it in or out.
And that 50 amp short cord comes out of that same drop door where we saw the sewer hose come out of. So everything is kind of neatly tucked up in and then comes out below the vehicle, so you can have all of your bays closed neatly and you don't have, you know, hoses running in and out of the side of the coach.
Exactly. This is something that I love that Marathon still continues to do. For decades, we have had a wash station in each coach, not just with hot and cold water coming right here, but also soap with towels right here, so that not only if you are out here and you get your hands dirty, you can do that, but think about this, washing your dog.
Yeah, I was just thinking that's the perfect height for a dog wash station.
That's right, and that's exactly what I see a lot of owners utilizing this for. This is a perfect dog wash station right here, and I love the fact that it accordions up and stows away, and you've got soap there so you can wash the dog. It's really a cool system.
Plenty of like metal braces if you needed to just tie a leash to something out here.
Exactly.
It's super convenient. Then you got gravity fill for your fresh water, and then looks like tank rinses as well if you want to rinse your tanks out.
Yes, it's all accessible right here.
Yeah, super clean plumbing bay, and you know, it's incredible even when we see marathons that are 10, 20 plus years ago, and the way they finish out those plumbing bays and how well they hold up together, just really a timeless design.
Yes, it really is, and we've gone to this really sleek situation in here with the indirect lighting on the manifolds. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah, you guys don't miss any lighting, and if we think there's a lot of lighting on the outside here, wait till we get into the inside.
No doubt.
You guys are gonna really like it, but let's keep looking through these bays here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we've got the slide rooms out right now. Now, usually when you're accessing these bays, it would be from the other side, and being a double slide coach, you don't have to bend below the bay, but that's not too bad. And you're probably not going to your generator compartment too often.
No, you're not, but when you need to, there it is, and everything is accessible, and something we've talked about before, but it's always really important to point out is that this comes out on a slide out to be serviced. It also rides on airbags. And one of the things that we were showing on the H3 is the same on the X3, is it's insulated properly so that when this generator is on, it's very, very quiet, not just outside the coach, but inside the coach.
And with 20 kW of power, plenty of power to run all 4 AC units.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's that other side of that full pass-through bay, just a very wide storage area without having a slide tray there. I mean, just a lot of open space to do whatever you want with.
It really is. Where the storage bays in an X3 might not be as tall as the H, the X makes up for it by being even wider. So you've got a huge storage bay in there, and quite frankly, whoever buys this coach is going to put a big slide out tray that's going to go out that side on the patio side and have tons of storage.
Yeah, you could even put a huge outdoor kitchen in it and still have a bunch of storage on this side.
Yes, that's a good point. Even putting cabinetry and a refrigerator, wine cooler, whatever you want, even if you do a barbecue, there's going to be a lot more storage because of the width of these bays.
Yeah, and talking about fully tricked out coaches, I think the folks are going to want to keep an eye out for coach 1422.
Oh, no doubt.
The coach after this, that video is going to be coming soon. Totally tricked out, showing off a lot of the cool stuff you guys can do.
I'm excited for your viewers to see that because 1422 is just a stunning coach, and I'm just glad to show you 21 and 22. They're both beautiful.
Well, and Marathon Coach is doing a whole series on your YouTube channel covering that entire build from the shell to the finished product. So it was really cool for us to see the finished product, but I'm looking forward to watching that series on Marathon's YouTube channel documenting that whole process.
Yeah, Marathon has put a lot of resources behind the docu-series, if you will, on Coach 1422. Shane Hawks, who's our videographer here in-house, he has done an amazing job of documenting Coach 1422 all the way through. And so I'm really, really excited for everyone to see what this coach is all about.
I couldn't believe how much footage, how many, Eli heard, how many terabytes of storage? 35 wait, did I hear that right? 35 terabytes of storage? That's gonna be an awesome docu-series. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, because it really shows all the resources that came together inside this building to build Coach 1422.
Yes, sir. Now, coming back around to the front end of 1421 here, again, I've got to compliment that underglow lighting, but when I walked into the room and I saw the backlit badge in that same kind of aqua green, it kind of matches your shirt there. So.
I did it on purpose. Matches the shoes, matches the shirt, matches the underglow. It's really nice. I also like how we're putting the Prevost embossed letters on the front and the back. These raised letters, they really go well with the stainless on the sides of the X3.
Yes, sir. Is this sensor part of that collision mitigation system?
It is, yes. Drive a Marathon, drive a Prevost. Get in here and find out what all of these safety features are about, because it really enhances not just the safety, but it enhances the comfort of the coach.
Well, talk about not only safety, but comfort. The new e-mirrors are on this coach, and we're going to see more of those when we go inside of the coach.
Yes.
But that's a huge safety if people are driving in dark conditions or foggy conditions. I've heard several Prevost owners just talk about how much they really appreciate the visibility of the e-mirrors. Then, of course, we have the standard mirrors as well.
Yeah, you know, they don't replace these mirrors because the static Prevost mirrors are so important for a lot of people that are experienced from driving a Marathon. They're going to use these mirrors for the most part. But having the new e-mirrors up there on both the H and the X really enhances the needs of the driver, especially at night. When you're parking these guys at night, it gives you a real high definition version of these mirrors right here. And so the two of them work kind of together, and you can utilize either or.
And I think the e-mirrors are so ergonomic that a lot of the Prevost owners that are making that transition are transitioning pretty quickly because it's just so easy to see them in your peripheral.
Andrew, you bring up a great point. Those really don't take away from the aesthetics of the coach. A lot of people initially were kind of weary of, hey, what's it going to look like on the side of my new Marathon? But I think you're absolutely right to point that out. They look great on the side of the coach, and the most important thing is they enhance the abilities of the driver.
And the safety of the coach as well.
Absolutely, good point.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you know, you've got the doorbell camera with the paint job painted through it. We'll see more of that when we go into the bedroom. And then we've got a code entry here in the door. But as cool as all this stuff is on the exterior of this coach, I think folks are gonna really like the interior. As soon as you open the door here, we've got this backlit Marathon Coach logo, beautiful lighting in the stairwell here, and then again,
absolutely
indirect lighting in the door, more indirect lighting right here into the dash. You've got a wood grain grab handle. Not only is it beautiful, but functional. As soon as we walk in here, we've got a switch for our master lights. We can control our ground RGB, select the different colors, patio lights, all conveniently from the entry door. Just a beautiful entryway, but I think we should take the folks inside.
Let's do it.
This is a beautiful interior, and I love having the taller ceilings in the X.
For people that are taller than 6'4", 6'5", they really prefer the higher ceiling of the X3, and so Marathon's commitment to that continues, and here we are in Coach 1421. One of the things that really stands out always about the X's to me is going to be not just that ceiling, but the fact that the cockpit is on the same level as your living quarters, where in the H3 you make those additional 2 steps up into your salon. The cockpit is part of your salon when it comes to the X3. That co-pilot seat swivels around to be part of your social situation here in the coach, and so there's a lot of people that prefer it. We were talking earlier about I learned to drive on an X3, so I like both coaches, and I'm just glad we're still building on the X3.
I'm a big fan. I'm not quite 6'4", I'm 6'2",
right?
But I still like having just that extra, extra headroom, and even in the higher end homes, a lot of them are having taller ceilings right now. So some people do prefer, the taller ceilings. I know a lot of people also prefer the H's. Now, what percentage of your builds are on the X versus the H's?
Oh, great question. Quite frankly, the way to answer that question is to kind of say, it depends on the year. It depends on the production year. Some years were a 60-40 split. Some years were 70-30. And what I mean is like 70-30 more heavy on the H, 60-40 more heavy on the H, and that it just depends on the demand of the customers. What the customers want, that's the demand that we'll build.
And then we're noticing the warmer tones really coming back in the style on these new 2026s. And we've seen a few coaches with this ceiling that reminds me of a linen, really timeless design there on the ceiling.
Marathon went to this new ceiling a couple of years ago, and I think this is one of those ceilings that appeals to everybody because there's so many lighting options when it comes to this ceiling. And you can either turn that light off, that center light off, you can dim it all the way down, you can have it all the way bright. It really appeals to a lot of people. It's one of those things that will never go out of style.
Yeah, and talking about lighting, there's so much lighting in this coach. In the valances, you've got indirect lighting there just below the ceiling line. Another, ceiling line here with lots of bright puck lighting, but then also a really cool table side lamp here as well. You guys don't hold back at all when it comes to lighting.
Andrew, as you well know from covering a lot of coaches over the years, lighting is one of the most important things that a lot of people don't talk about on day one. But when they get into the coach, they've purchased the coach or they're considering purchasing the coach, getting in and looking at the lighting, not just these puck lights, which are your, turning on all of your house lights with one button here in a Marathon, but you turn off all the house lights and you can turn on all the accent lighting, and that is really a mood setter when it comes to being in a Marathon. You can set different accent lights, whether it be under the cabinets, under the toe kicks, under the dinette table back here. You really have a lot of options.
You just mentioned something that's really important to me. You said you could just press one button to turn all the lights on, and that's something that Marathon does very well. You've got regular light switches here where you can walk in the coach, you can see, okay, accent lights, press one button, or master lights up front. When you walk in the coach on the door, we can just press one button for the master lights. You don't need to go through a tablet to turn your lights on.
That's correct. In different locations throughout the coach, and just from where you and I are standing, there's one behind you at the entry door. There's one behind that recliner over there on the curbside. Over here on the driver's side underneath the TV, you've got this. On the other side of the dinette table, there's another one. And there's ways you can isolate different locations in the coach. So like literally from this one, you can turn on the salon lights, which are these puck lights, or you can hit accent lights and all of the accent lights are going on. it's really nice to have the flexibility, and you don't have to pick up the Crestron tablet or the iPad to control all that. It's literally, you can push it here, you can push it there, you can control the lights that are around the ceiling. It's really nice to have all of that flexibility.
But you know, maybe you're kicking back on the couch and you don't want to get up and press the light switch, and you have the Crestron tablet in your hands. You can control all the lighting from the tablet as well?
That is correct. You can not only control turning them on and off, but also selecting the percentage of light. If you want 75% of those house lights on, you can set it at 75 just with the slide of a button, or drop it down to set the mood right at 25% and dim it down, but not all the way down. It really provides for the customer or the client, whoever owns the coach, to select their lighting depending on what they're doing.
Yeah, the Marathon team is definitely thinking of ways to make sure that end user is really comfortable and has a lot of options to make their life better any way possible, even if it's just dimming the lights. Now, I see a TV here in the slide room, and I think the huge advantage of this TV is when the slide room comes in, if there's passengers riding in the back of the coach, they can still watch this TV while it's going down the road?
Fantastic point. And instead of just telling you about it, I can actually show you. One of the things that I love about what we do is when this slide comes all the way in, you can have this TV and someone is sitting on the curbside as you're driving down the road. You can have the flexibility of wherever this is, it's stout enough to hold in that position. You can,
wow, even while the coach is in motion?
Correct. When the coach is in motion, you can have it out here because of the way that we have designed it. It literally will stay in a certain position. Now, will it move around a little bit? It's a 45-foot bus. It's going to move a little bit, but you literally have it out here and you can watch it from that side, or with a very strong magnet, it holds against that wall.
And was that a secret compartment behind the TV? Or?
Well, I tell you what, it's not necessarily a secret compartment. It's a access for the wiring. I love secret storage.
Yeah, I know Marathon has more secret compartments than anyone I've ever seen. So I've got to ask, because I know you never know what kind of James Bond button we're going to press and something's going to drop down.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've done some creative stuff over the times.
Yes, sir. Now, is there another TV here above the cockpit area?
No doubt. Not only do we have the 32-inch here in that driver's side salon, but we have the standard TV, which is the 55-inch TV coming out right over the cockpit. And because the coach is turned off, I could safely pull this down. And one of the things about this is so many customers, they've said, well, we don't use that TV. And the next minute they say that, they want to use that TV. So I love giving the customer the options of having a TV over the cockpit and a TV over here at the slide out room.
Well, and we got to hear some stories this morning. We were filming with some of the original employees here. Yes. One of them was telling us a story about when they went from the tube TVs to this. And back in the day, these were like $25,000 TVs that had to go up there, and they were really heavy still at the time, but it's been really cool to watch that evolve. And Marathon's been doing this TV lift now for like over 20 years?
Yes, for over 20 years, we've done the drop-down TV, and you got that opportunity to meet with Jay, Allen, and Steve today, and I'm sure that that's one of the things that they brought up was the evolution from those old, big, heavy TVs that we used to have over the driver cockpit to this pull-down TV. So for over 20 years, we have given this option to customers, and this is something that is standard in every coach. It's got great sound also. Our audio-visual engineers, they don't just focus on the lighting in these coaches, but they specialize in making sure the sound system that comes out of these TVs is phenomenal.
Yeah, a lot of thought goes into every square inch of these coaches.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you guys didn't see that video already, or if it hasn't come out, definitely worth checking out, hearing some of the stories about, you know, how Marathon has evolved over the years, and some incredible stories in that video. We'll make sure to leave that in the description below when it's live. But coming back up to the cockpit area here, I know we've got the signature Marathon coach fireplace. Does that go in almost every Marathon coach, it seems like?
It goes in almost every one, at least every floor plan that supports it. Most floor plans at this point do. You could leave that cabinet bare and have additional storage, but there's going to be more people than not that want that, not just for the lighting, but for the electric heat that it puts out.
Coming back up to the cockpit area up here, I love what Marathon did with the wood grain on the dash that matches the steering wheel. It's got large monitors here. Now I see this has the newer e-mirrors, and I know in 2024, the H went to the E-mirrors. Do the E-mirrors, did that become an option on the X around the same time, or how did that evolve?
Yeah, I think it's about the same time. And also about that same time, we realized that the H owners were really benefiting from some changes in the cockpit. And so Marathon decided, and I know you met with Jay Graham earlier, Jay Graham really spearheaded an R&D program to fix some things in the cockpit of the X3 that had not been addressed. And so those things were implemented on several coaches over the last couple of years.
While I'm standing here, I've got to mention the egress here, getting in and out of the coach. This TV is raked back, which I know there's a lot of engineering and thought that goes into that. So you have, real easy getting in and out of the coach.
Absolutely. Another good thing to point out, the fact that that TV is further back than just straight on allows people to come in and out of the coach without worrying and or hitting their shoulder or their head on the TV and still being able to view the TV.
Yes, sir. And I'm noticing as we're standing here, the speakers in the ceiling here that are painted to match this upholstery, and then there's a vent right above the driver and passenger chairs here. Are those part of the dash AC or the house AC?
Good call on that. I'm glad you caught that. They are not part of the dash AC. The airflow from the dash was insignificant to something so far away from the dash AC that we ran those to run off the first air conditioner on the roof of the coach.
Now, are you able to run the AC off of the inverter in this coach while you're going down the road?
Yes, through our AC Select system, it's one of the more popular things that drivers really appreciate is with the inverter system, you've got the two ACs that can be run as you're running down the road.
This has the big boy twin 4,000 watt inverters, and they've been using that for like 20 years at least or so, where you can run that AC off that inverter with AGM batteries?
Yes, it's a really good system, and it provides the clients to have all kinds of options when it comes to the air conditioning.
And as I'm standing here, this is a really nice, comfortable material. The tile floors are nice too, but what is the material in the entryway here?
One of the most popular things to talk about with customers is the simplicity of those mats that are in the cockpit of every Marathon coach. They come in all kinds of different colors, they come in different fabrics, or at least different looks to those fabrics, and people love it. When you have a pre-owned Marathon or you're buying an older Marathon, one of the best things you can do is buy a new set of those mats because they look fantastic, they last a long time, they're very cleanable, and they just look great. And so yes, those mats are so popular.
And folks can just order those through the service department.
Yes.
They can say, hey, I've got coach 1421. I want to get, maybe change the color or something, and they're
Exactly.
pre-cut, easy peasy.
Someone comes in with a 25-year-old coach, one of the things they really look at, I love those mats that you put in the coach. Absolutely, we can do it. We have several different colors in-house.
I'm sure there's a pretty significant cost to that. I know those are pretty expensive, but a lot of value in having it done here at the Marathon factory where it's going to be perfectly cut to fix.
Yeah, it's a precision cut and it's completely correct for the coach. Andrew, one of the things I want to show you is the sofa. One of the things you and I were talking about yesterday when we were in an H3 was the leather sofa. This one actually has the reveal backs. So you see the reveal backs provide for additional color to the sofa. You've got it corresponding with the dinette backs, but one of the cool things is how easy it is to jackknife this guy down to a sleeper. Can we see you do it?
Now I'm learning something every day, because in the past I'd never seen someone that knew how to operate this, and I was doing it wrong. I was trying to grab it from the back when I was putting it up, but you did it super easy yesterday. This is like the easiest jackknife sofa in the industry. We just put it up like that, and then boom. And I thought it was a lot harder to put up than it is, but here, check this out, guys. So you just put this back up, and then we have storage below here, but then
just like that.
Boom, easy peasy. And I've got to compliment, not only does this have that two-tone with the back here,
yes,
but the way they design this, you actually have that leather, and then this is not an inlay because it's above, but correct. I like the way that they added it. I don't know if I've seen that yet. Really cool design cue there.
And this is what's really important about this. There's going to be someone who's going to come in here and they're going to say, I love it, but I wish this was a full leather sofa. These reveal backs are removable. They actually Velcro off, and you can retain a all leather sofa if you take these reveal backs off. Or let's say it's all leather right now, you could put the reveal backs on just to add a pop of color or a pop of fabric on the back side of these. So it really provides for more variety for the customers.
Yeah, really cool design too, just to have that two-tone breaking it up there. It has a very high-end feel to it.
It really does, yes.
Now, do the Ghirardelli chocolates come with the coach?
Completely extra charge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Part of decor is the Ghirardelli. Hey, that color matches. It's a perfect match.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this is a super high-end recliner, almost like a European style to it.
Yes, one of the things that we do in our coaches is we source recliners that are in different styles depending on the style that's needed for each coach. And then what we do is we buy the chair, we tear it completely down to the skeleton, and we repad it and we reupholster it in-house. This is really a beautiful chair that we did in-house.
Yeah, we did do a factory tour, facility tour, where we got to see all of the different departments, and the upholstery shop was extremely impressive. It's amazing all of the different stuff that they were able to do up there, and at such precision as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When I take people around here on a plant tour of the Marathon Mothership, one of the most popular things is showing them that upholstery shop.
Yes, sir. And then next to your recliner, it looks like there's some storage going on. What's all going on up here?
The occasional table is more than just occasional. A lot of people love to have big storage, and these are really two big drawers, but I really like that. I'm a big storage guy, Andrew. But the cocktail table or the cocktail pullout is something that we've done for many years, and a lot of people really like it because it adds additional dimension to the occasional table. If you need it, it pulls out like that. When you don't need it, it goes right there and it's away. So it just adds a lot more variety for the customer.
As we come back towards the galley, I see a pretty cool, it's like a cross between an elephant and a giraffe, it looks like.
I didn't catch the giraffe part, but you're absolutely right. One of the things, and I know that in one of the videos that you got to do, you got to meet Alan Christensen, who is our longtime designer here at Marathon. He's the Vice President of Interior Design.
Employee number one.
Employee number one. Good to point that out. He's the first guy hired by Marathon.
Since 1983. It'll be 43 years here in a couple months that he's been with Marathon.
Absolutely incredible. And one of the things that Alan has done over the many decades, he's been charged with designing all of these coaches, is he always finds a way to put an elephant for good luck in every coach that he designs. And so that tradition continues with Coach 1421, as you can see our half giraffe, half elephant.
Well, and I love what Marathon has been doing with the art cabinets for a long time.
Yeah,
and
totally.
There's been an evolution of it. A lot of times it had glass on the outside and the back, but what I've noticed, they started doing puck lighting here, but then there's also indirect lighting above, kind of hidden in the cabinet as well. So many little tiny little details where they're always stepping it up.
You're sharp to pick that out, because a lot of people wouldn't pick that out. It not only has the puck light, but it's got the indirect lighting around the rim of it. And that is something that's so important, because you can isolate one or the other or have both on, as we have them both on. And it just adds to the flexibility of the lighting.
When did Marathon start adding indirect lighting in the art cabinets?
Actually, they did it for many years if wanted by a custom coach. But I think when we went away from doing the acrylic fronts like you had previously mentioned, we added the indirect lighting around the inside of that rim. At night, it sets off your decor really kind of cool. The spotlight is nice to have, but that indirect lighting gives it a different look.
It's amazing how many little details are in these coaches that I've probably been in several, but was just so overwhelmed with everything else I didn't even notice.
You and I have done these videos for many years, and regardless of what coach we go into, we can pick different things out depending on what it's kind of like a good movie. When you watch a good movie, you're going to see something new every time.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a great movie right here.
There you go.
So coming back into the galley area here, I love the look of the cabinets where they go all the way to the ceiling.
Yep.
It reminds me of like being in like a $5 or $10 million home. Indirect lighting gives it a little bit of that floating look, just a very high-end feel.
I love that you pointed out the high-end look of the longer cabinets, because if they were shorter, quite frankly, it wouldn't look right. And in the X3, like we're in right now, Coach 1421, you get these long upper cabinets, and not only does it provide for a lot more storage because they're extra long, but they look right. It's the way it's supposed to be designed. So these are huge storage bins right above you. And one of the things our engineering team does very well is you've got ample room. It's not an awkward feel. Even though they're long, It's not an awkward feel.
Yeah, still plenty of room to do dishes or pour a glass of lemonade. I love the way they're staged here. You know, fresh glasses of ice cubes that have stayed frozen for the last 2 hours.
Decor is important.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, it looks great. Yeah, you do a great job staging them. But there's also a little lip here on the countertop, so no liquids. You know, if liquids spill a little bit, it's not dripping onto the face of these beautiful cabinets. And I've got to compliment the coloring of these cabinets. It's a real, you know, warm but still modern tone. How would you refer to this color?
I would definitely say this is a taupe blend. I like to say it's taupe and gray together, but I really like the way that it plays in this coach for a couple of different reasons. It plays off of this ceiling. Like you mentioned earlier, it's got that linen look to it. And so the linen look corresponds really with the taupe feel here, but also the flooring in Coach 1421 that was selected. Everything really plays well together.
And these are heated floors?
It is, yes. Heated floors throughout.
Yes, sir. And then, you know, for storage here, I'm going to open these up. We've got adjustable shelving and a very high-end material there. Not only the bottom of the cabinets, but the walls and even the bottom of the shelf. A lot of times people won't even see that shelf, but it's all fully finished out.
That's right. One of the things that you want to look at is when you open this cabinet, when you and I are standing here, I'm 6 foot, you're 6'2", you're standing here, you're looking at it, you see everything. But what about the person that's sitting down over there? They need to see it from a different perspective because they're sitting down. So you want to make sure that everything is finished off. And that's one of the things that our team does really well, is that they look at everything from different angles and make sure that everything is finished properly.
It's incredible. I think we were in the bays yesterday and saw the bottom of the chair holder was even fully upholstered, something that very few people would ever see that, but it's fully finished out.
Yes, it really is, and that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on is finished surfaces, even for those surfaces that are not apparent behind walls. Let me show you the surfaces behind here. One of the things that you can't see because we're standing up or even sitting here is this surface up here is finished. And it's really fantastic to know that every surface is done and finished off, even if it's not visible.
Another Marathon Coach hidden compartment there. I would have never known there was storage behind that backrest.
Yes, yes. Hidden storage is one of the things that I really appreciate in a coach.
And talking about storage, I know that's very important. What all other storage are we going to have in this part of the coach?
In this floor plan, there is no lack of storage. Good utilization of space throughout. Above, below, and as we just illustrated, behind. So you've got behind storage here, you've got two really big tip-ups here, and another thing that we were talking about just the other day was being able to load these or take things out and not have to hold with one hand and try to figure out with that. You literally can use both hands to get in there, and then when you're done, you just drop it down and you can just release it on a soft close. Also, storage below. There's 3 drawers below this dinette table. A lot of people get creative with the storage below the dinette, whether it be for pots and pans, storage of linens, things like that. Sometimes I've seen cleaning items that go underneath here, but really it's up to the owner. But there's really nice storage throughout the dinette area, below, above, and right behind.
Yeah, a very deep drawer there as well. I know you guys see this every day, but I never get tired of pointing out.
Oh, yeah.
You got the Marathon logo embossed into the wood there, and just such high quality cabinetry and woodwork when we open and close all of these drawers.
It really is, and it's one of the things that Marathon's engineering team looks at, and if they're not looking at it, they're listening. We've had customers that have come to us and said, "Hey, I love it, but why can't I have something over here?" Well, it's the end of the slide out room. Well, what's behind here? Can I have a little bit? Well, there you go, right there. You've got 2 drawers that you wouldn't really think is actually some shelving, but you can utilize that just a little bit of space. So you've got 2 shelves right there. I believe they're 8-inch in depth. And it's just a little bit additional storage in your dinette or your galley area.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of drawer space here in the kitchen.
Absolutely. In the X3 floor plans that Marathon builds, storage in the galley is incredible. There's 8 of those, Andrew. Look at that. It's just phenomenal what we do with our drawers in the X3. That's pretty awesome right there to see.
A lot of storage and very, very deep storage as well. And again, all lined with that synthetic leather.
Yes.
And when I open and close these, are these like, it's it really, you could feel it shutting. Is there like a magnet or something?
Basically what we do is we put the most robust system in there for holding those drawers in. We also have the ability to add to that. So one of the things that a lot of people point out is these drawers, they don't have anything in them, but once you weigh them down with anything from canned goods or food goods or dishes or anything like that, they really need to be really robust.
I could barely tell there was a cooktop cover because it's such a precise cut there in the countertop there, but it looks like a Fisher-Paykel induction cooktop there.
Yes, you'll see the Fisher-Paykel throughout the coach, not just on the cooktop there, but the dish drawer down here, which is the dishwasher. You'll see that guy right there. And also, one of my favorite refrigerators that we put in any coach is in this coach. It is a very large Fisher-Paykel refrigerator freezer in the X3s.
Yeah, no, we'll take a look at that in a second, but I want to point out more storage here.
Oh, yeah.
With the trash receptacle, and then it looks like a couple spots to put your sink covers there.
That's right. It's nice to have those so that when you actually take them out, you're going to have a spot to put these in.
And when did Marathon Coach start using the Fisher-Paykel refrigerator? I remember it was Sub-Zeros back in the day, I recall.
Yes.
I believe I recall.
So I'm really glad. A lot of people like that Sub-Zero, and it really has that brand recognition. The Fisher-Paykel refrigerator freezer is just larger. And so a few years back, we went to it not just on the H3, but as you see here on the X3. It actually is brighter and larger when it comes to more space for anything in the refrigerator. And then of course the freezer is a double tiered with divider with ice machine up top.
A lot of freezer space there, and cool little design cue that I've seen a couple times now that I didn't mention, but I want to point it out is, when you pulled out this freezer drawer, you grabbed one latch, but it looks like there's two separate drawers here to kind of give it that aesthetic, but then it all pulls out as one piece. And I saw the same thing over here. There's a cut here where it appears like there's going to be two cabinet doors. That's actually one large cabinet door, but just a really clean look to have that, divider to kind of give it that symmetrical look there.
Yeah, you nailed it. It is clean because what you see here, that's the break between the two, as you can see right there. But this appears to be a break also, but the consistency between the dimension of this line and this line is exactly the same, and you've really got two of these pop-ups here when it appears to be, like you pointed out, four of them.
In the past, Marathon did more of those where it would be doors that open up outwards,
yes.
But I feel like this setup
way better
is much easier, much larger opening.
Yes, also kind of confusing with it's just more difficult to get in. How does it open? Where do I get it? This way, you pop it up, you hold it, you can get in. When you're ready to get it in, you drop it and it soft closes.
And do you know roughly when Marathon made the transition from the kind of older style doors to this more updated style?
I believe we made that transition to these more pop-up ones about 4 years ago.
Then it looks like some large pantry space here.
Yes.
Like we didn't already have enough drawer space.
Absolutely.
This is some of the most storage I've ever seen in a Prevost, I feel like.
You've got to have it, and this floor plan really provides it. I believe these are 16 inches long in their depth, but 12 inches, 1 foot wide, and you've got 7 of them.
Well, now I see tracks here for, it looks like adjustable shelving. Would they be able to adjust the height of the drawers as well?
Yes, there's an actual divider right here, so this one actually has to be here, but these are adjustable here, and then these 4 down here are also adjustable.
I've seen adjustable shelving, but adjustable drawers, that might be a first for me. How long has Marathon been doing that for?
For several years now, and I think that it's one of the things that provides the customer with being real versatile with what they're going to store in here. Hey, I've got cereal boxes. I don't have to put them on their side. I can put them on end as they should be if I move this guy up a hair, and so I'm going to move this drawer up, so it just really is nice. Also, somebody might put dishes in there, and so they might have racks to put in there.
Yeah, very versatile use of space. Coming back into the middle of the coach, this coach has one of the coolest features I think every motorhome should have.
Yes.
Extremely well thought out design here. And we actually got a little bit of the story about how this was discovered, but right. This shower door has a squeegee. So after you're done showering, you could press a button and it'll close the door and squeegee the water off.
One of the really cool things that we've talked about so many times is accurate design in a coach. And these don't, I mean, you don't want to have a swing door that takes up your hallway. This actually has a pocket door. And if I hit shower door, this glass door, the squeegee resets and drags all the water off into the proper location.
Not only does it have that squeegee, but I'm noticing this is like a floor to ceiling glass door. So does that seal off, and does that almost become like a steam room a little bit, or?
You know, it kind of does. And I love the fact that you pointed out that it's from the floor to the ceiling. And yes, it provides for a really nice kind of steam effect inside the shower.
Can I check it out for
Check it
the
out.
shower test here?
Yep.
So, you know, in the X, we're gonna have more headroom.
Yes.
And then we've got this overhead shower head with a vent with a fan hidden back there, again, with cool indirect lighting. And then I can just, you know, press one button here, close that shower door. It's gonna squeegee it off for me as it opens and closes, but now you turned it up super hot in here and you didn't have that fan on, it'd probably steam up really good for you. Hey, here I see a simple switch. Is that the switch for the slide room control?
It is a slide room control. And it's in a location where you can operate it and observe at the same time for safety reasons.
Yes, sir. Now, across from the shower, we got the water closet over here. What's all going on in there?
Yes, so the water closet here, you've got the split bathroom or the water closet area. You've got the sink, you've got a really nice backsplash which corresponds to the floor and to the tile work in the shower.
So we have indirect lighting here below the countertop, just above the floors, below the cabinets, almost giving it that floating look. And then here you can see there's another vent with a fan, but fully upholstered out, where if you didn't know what was there, you'd never know it existed, but you need to have that, you know, ability to get some fresh air in here if you'd like.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, a little bit of storage behind your head here. And again, all lined with that synthetic leather, even, you know, the bottoms and tops of the shelves, every square inch. And then there's an emergency air release right here. If for some reason one of your pocket doors isn't working, you can just press that release and then just manually open it. And on that note, I believe there's a pocket door right here where if you wanted to section off this bathroom, you could kind of section it off.
And this whole area can be sectioned off. Where you're standing, there's a pocket door that closes off the water closet. Right there behind you, there's a pocket door that closes off the galley and dinette area. And then right here, there's a pocket door that closes off the entire bedroom. So literally, you and I could be standing in this hallway by ourselves. There's many options to be able to close off different areas in the coach.
When you close this door, it's almost like you have a private bathroom, but really nice utilization of space here, because this is your hallway as well, but it essentially becomes your your bathroom floor when you section it off.
That's
here.
exactly right.
Yeah. And then what's behind this door here?
Additional storage. Once again, really nice pull-out drawers here, and I think another 7 pull-out drawers. It's really nice to have.
When you said no shortage of storage, you are not joking around.
Absolutely.
Now, back here, this is going to be another full long hanging here, extremely well lit. I mean, I could stand in that closet if I wanted to.
You're right. That's the theme of this coach, is tons and tons of storage. And so that is a full-length closet right there with that hanger bar. There's so much storage, and that's not even the biggest closet in this coach.
Well, for long hanging, for long dresses or race car suits,
yes,
that's going to come in handy. But then, is there another closet up here?
Yes, right over here you've got a really deep closet here for shirt hang, and this is really nice because these drawers underneath are huge. So you've got a bank of 4 of them right here underneath this really large and deep shirt hang.
Yeah, definitely some of the most storage I've ever seen in a Prevost motorhome. And out of all your floor plans, do you know if you have any floor plans that have more storage than this?
It depends on of course, depending on the configuration, but as far as the X goes, this is the one with the most storage.
And then if we want to section off the rear bedroom here, we can close this pocket door. We've got a full-length mirror and some cool little pieces of artwork here. I like the water droplet there. You know if there was any inspiration for this interior design?
I really don't. Usually what we do is when someone purchases the coach, we customize these. So if someone has personal artwork that they would prefer, or even photographs, we swap it out and we we can get them in there, and it's really nice because these are recessed, so this pocket door closes right over that.
Yeah, maybe the kids or dogs or grandkids, all that good stuff. Even though it's a double slide coach, we still have a large bedroom back here, a lot of floor space, it feels like.
It really is, and with the ability to put the bed up like it is right now, when you're not using it, it stows up like this and creates more walking space here in the floor plan.
Now, when the slide room comes in, do you have the ability to put the bed down flat, or does the bed need to be in that upright position when the slide room comes in?
No, you can have the bed fully down, all the way down, and you can still access everything when the slide is in.
Yeah, so that's one of the huge advantages of this coach is being a double slide. We've talked about it, out here on the West Coast especially, people are traveling, they're driving thousands of miles.
Yes.
And sometimes if you stop overnight, you don't want to mess with putting your slide rooms out. You just want to turn the coach off, come back here, take a shower, have a meal, maybe flip on the tube.
That's right.
Lay down in bed and just go to sleep and not mess with, if you're at maybe a truck stop or a rest area, you may not have room to put your slides out. So I appreciate the livability that you can walk to your shower, take a shower without having to climb over anything, get to your bedroom, get to your closets without having to climb over anything. There's not very many motorhomes out there that you can do all of that with the slide rooms in.
That's right. When this slide room is in, if this bed is all the way down, you can use the bed with the slide room in, but if you want to get to that rear closet that's right behind you, you could put the bed up like this with the slide room in and walk around it. So it really is nice.
Yeah, and I've really got to compliment the design here. I love the look above the bed. So this being the X, we already have more headroom in here, but there's no cabinets above the bed. So when you wake up, you just have that nice open feel.
Yes.
And then these speakers are painted to match, but even this light curve to this piece of wood that matches the cabinets. And then the beautiful Marathon coach blinds there that don't let any light in. And then some really cool, more modern style sconce lights.
Absolutely.
Just a really cool. Now, and these flowers, is this just part of the decor? Does that come with the coach?
All the decor comes with the coach, is just part of the decor.
On that side of the bed, I see a large touch panel and then the Airphone doorbell camera as well.
Right. This is something that you and I talked about actually in a previous video or another video that we were working on. And it really gives you the ability to take a look at I'll show you right here. You can actually see to the front of the coach. There we are out there on the production floor here at Marathon headquarters. Gives you the ability to see outside the coach, talk outside the coach, or also listen outside the coach.
Yeah, I think that we're hearing little noises. So if your detail guys are outside, and you want to know if they're overcharging you or something, just turn that on and listen to what they're talking about. Now, a warning, you may get some interesting conversations out there. I spent a lot of years washing motorhomes, so you never know, but cool to have that access to be able to communicate with people outside of the coach.
It's a nice feature to have in the coach.
A fixed TV here, but still a lot of storage in our bedroom.
Once again, more storage, drawers and cabinets, not just below the TV, but on each side of the TV. You've got adjustable storage below and above. It's really nice to have.
Yeah, and some more elephant decor there.
Yeah, a giraffe, a zebra, a monkey, and an elephant. Elephant's carrying all the burden.
Lots of cool humor in all the decor that they use here at Marathon. Now, what's going on back here? Okay. That was a pretty serious cabinet. Yes, sir.
So when you think that's just a wall, because this is actually a pocket door for the closet. So one of the really cool things is we took the audio-visual controls and we put them behind this kind of a hidden wall here right there. So you've got everything from your inverter controls, your 4 ACs, your breaker boxes, some of the controls here for your 12-volt water heaters. Auto gen can even be controlled in here, and of course heated floors throughout. Those controls all behind this hidden wall.
Yes, sir.
And then if I hit this button,
a beautiful inlay on these pocket doors here, and then it's still a walk-in closet back here.
It is. And this actually, you open it up like that and then grab that and flop it back over.
Boom.
And it magnets closed right there.
With a washer and dryer back here, and I could see why people really like this floor plan.
Yes.
Because you put your laundry back here, you literally have a spot. I mean, I can walk in it now. I'm not going to be able to, I can almost stand all the way up back here.
Yes.
But boom, grab a load of laundry, maybe fold it right here or fold it on the bed.
Right.
Hang it up right here. You got these extremely bright downlit hanging bars. Everything's lined with carpet. And then again, just a massive amount of drawer space The storage in this coach is incredible.
One of our things that our engineering team did over the last couple of years is they moved the audio-visual items from this area to another location under the well-ventilated bed. This provides for us to have so much more storage in the rear closet of the X3 floor plans.
Incredible how everything is finished out. Even in the rear closet, all of the cabinetry matches perfectly like it does through the coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Mal, we really appreciate the opportunity to see this coach. I know this coach just came out of production.
It sure did.
But is it available?
It is. This is one of those coaches, and I think we illustrated it in this video, how much storage is truly in this coach, and it doesn't miss for anything. So it is still available. So I'd love for people that are really interested in getting to a new X3 Marathon to take a look at this one.
I believe this is the newest Prevost Marathon coach on the market right now.
Yeah.
So if someone out there is looking, to get a brand new Marathon right now, this coach is ready to go to hit the road this summer?
You're absolutely right. It is ready to go right now, and it'll be something that they'll have so many different options with all of the storage that you and I really showed in this video.
Yeah, great opportunity for someone. And what is the MSRP of this coach as it sits?
So the MSRP on this is $3.3 million, and so they should really reach out to me and find out what more details about this floor plan. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, really awesome coach, and I really appreciate the opportunity to see this coach and meet the incredible team here at Marathon Coach. Now, if someone's a serious and qualified buyer and they're ready to purchase this coach or maybe custom build a new coach or maybe check out some of your pre-owned inventory,
absolutely,
what's the best steps for them to take?
Well, they can get a hold of me at malw, that's M-A-L-W at marathoncoach.com, or always one of the most efficient ways to get a hold is go to that Marathon website. It's really fantastic. We just redesigned our website, so they should really check that out.
Yeah, we'll make sure to leave marathoncoach.com in the description below. And
yes.
Mal, really appreciate you and your time today.
Thank you. And don't forget, you guys, follow Marathon Mondays with Mal on our YouTube page. It's a fantastic way to interact with Marathon. And also, Andrew, as I always say, be yourself and do good things.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll leave all those links for Marathon's social in the description below. Definitely worth keeping an eye on Marathon's YouTube channel. And appreciate you, Mal, and appreciate all of you out there liking, sharing, and following. We hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.